So, Greg, I heard you went for a drive.
Yes, we did. Tanya and I went for a drive about 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Saturday. It was my 50th birthday last year. There's been a couple of birthday presents that I haven't been able to fulfill, be it that we can't fly, we can't travel. So the idea was get out of town, do 5-7 days out of town. We had a target of 3,000 kilometres.
So what was the choice of car, mate? 3,000k?
Yeah, that was a difficult one. We had some serious car discussion. There was a couple of choices there which could have fulfilled, but I think the clear runner was the GDO, be it such a special tool and be it a masterpiece of a car that certainly most guys would not take on a journey like that. So it had to be something that most guys would not take, not the most comfortable. It's a prized possession. You don't want the guys say that I want to build kilometres on a car. Mate, drive the car.
Get out and enjoy it.
Get out and enjoy it.
Tell us a bit about the car.
Oh, the car's awesome, like it's wild. It's when you want it to be, but it's actually very sedate. On a car like that, it has a lot of road presence. You don't need to create any more for yourself. But one of the best things about driving a car like that on the open roads is just cruising. You don't need, New South Wales has a lot of 110 kilometre zones, so it's fast enough. There's no need for speed.
And weather-wise?
We copped it all. There was a little bit of snow on the ground only because it snowed the night before we got the Jindabyne. So we were lucky with that. No black ice. We certainly had a lot of rain. We had hours of rain. But the car was up for it. The big sweeping windscreen wipers are beautiful. So it handled all weather conditions fine.
Terrific. Yeah. So why not a classic car?
I just didn't want a classic car to have any issues on a wet road. Windscreen wipers, demist the situation. You're in the car a lot, so you want to know that your air conditioning and your heating system's working. And with that driving rain, that threat of possible black ice, didn't want a classic car. I wanted to do it a little bit better than that.
You're a pussy, mate.
Yeah, I am.
You prefer the creature comforts these days, eh?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Look, it's really the 3,000 Ks, you get a 356, right? We all love our 356s, but it would have been a hell of a lot harder.
How did it turn into this fundraising exercise? I mean, the result of raising $135,000 over the course of this, trip, 3,000k, is pretty amazing.
The truth to the matter is that Saturday morning, when we were setting off, and we planned to set off at 8 o'clock, believe me, I was on the phone to a friend at 10:30. Had a deal to work out.
Right.
I said, hey, listen. I said, I got one for you. He's a big Charity Drive Day supporter. And I said, I got one for you, mate. Going out in the car, he said, I heard about this drive, be careful, this and that. I said, I got one for you. What about if you give me some money for Charity Drive Days? I'll turn this into a Charity Drive Day thing and I'll go dollar for dollar. Are you up for it? He said, yep. I said, how much? He said, $5,000.
Bang. Straight on.
Yep.
So then the word spread.
You got me. You said you weren't going to make me cry. And so I hopped in the car, and Tanya said, what's wrong? I said, we've got $10,000. We've got $10,000. We've got to start. This is now a fundraiser. We shot off down the road, 1 kilometre, 2,999 to go, and we had $10,000. I said to her, geez, imagine if we could get 20. So I went to Instagram. Thank you, George Nackers. Gave us a start. Dutton Garage. We're off. We've got to start. Checkered flags.
5k and 5k matched. We're at $10,000.
Yep.
Haven't even left Melbourne.
The forthcoming days, one day it led to another, and $10,000 became 18, which was nearly 20, and then I get, oh my God, we're touching 35. If anybody followed the Instagrams, they'll remember those updates that were coming through every night.
Yep, we kept seeing them. It's good.
It was marvellous. It was pretty rewarding.
Mate, absolutely. I mean, phenomenal. An amazing result. A week later, you got $135,680 ready to donate.
This was not a big Charity Drive Day event. We didn't have 200 or 300 people like we usually have at Phillip Island. It was just a drive, for goodness sake.
So tell us about coming home. Obviously, you caught up with some friends for a couple of days up there. Obviously, looking at that result and driving back, and what were you thinking?
Well, we're thinking about how hard the year has been and how hard it's going to continue to be in 2020. I mean, Charity Drive Days we have cancelled every event this year, just like anybody else has. We haven't been able to do our short drive. We haven't been able to do a Phillip Island like we normally do. I mean, there's threats all over our October event. Let's face it, we don't know. Yep. So there's $200,000 at Phillip Island in October that where it's going to come from. Yep. So when we had a discussion as a group in the last few weeks and said, you know, where are we going to have to, where can we raise money from? We don't have an event for anything, you know, so the reward of just doing a drive, just us, having that unfold, that was the early days. I think when we were in the Blue Mountains, it might have been at 30 grand or something. And we were cheers, it was amazing. Like it just, you know, eventuated from nothing.
So this will make a great difference. We've decided to impart some of those funds to two of those beneficiaries. Yes. Want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, we've decided that $70,000 will go to Challenge, $30,000 will go to Building Hope Children's Eating Disorders. So they're in the hospitals helping these kids. You know, it's $135,000 that we weren't going to have.
Now, I heard you caught up with someone on the road, obviously, for a couple of days. A certain, you know, friend of the Charity Drive Days family, Aaron Sennis and Benita. I heard he was in a 930 Turbo.
Yeah, the orange 930 Turbo, he was. Yeah, you know, he loves his Porsches. Yeah. You know, they're all Porsches.
It would have been a bit quicker than the Ferrari, wouldn't it?
What, that old Porsche? What? Nah, not a hope.
And I heard there was a bit of a cliffhanger suspense in the Blue Mountains.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, we had 2 nights with them in the Blue Mountains at Faulty Towers, the hotel. It was a bit weird and wonderful, that place. So we got the 2 cars out every day for all the driving through the hills, and hundreds of kilometres was soaked up. But there was one walk that, I'm not too fond of that walk, Aaron.
No, I saw some photos and some video actually.
It was a rock shelf with a very low balustrade, and Aaron tried dragging me down off the steps to there, which he's lucky I didn't throw him over.
No, I can't. Get out.
Stand up, please. You travelled through some fair countryside, obviously also where the fires had been earlier this year. Tell us about, you know, what was the most dramatic sort of scenery you saw?
Look, it was a lot of hundreds of miles of dramatic scenery, be it that there's blackened forest, you know, and the way that they've had big dozers in, they've carved out the sides of the roads, have pushed trees down so they didn't fall onto the roads. Seeing also some areas where they've had rainfall and they've flourished, so these eucalypts are growing from the bottom up, which is sort of like Christmas tree style, yeah? So they'll be amazing in the coming months. You never got sick of looking at it. Remember the photo of the turned cars? Yeah, which was near the Blue Mountain Ranges. That was at our most northern spot. That was a bit freaky. And I hope the drivers of these cars were safe. Yeah.
So obviously this is, you know, new for Charity Drive Days in a sense. It's almost a recce.
The racing days and going to racetracks is so much fun, and we raise serious money. We had a lot of people there. But the recce run was important because it's definitely a thing that Charity Drive Days could be doing in the future.
There's a couple of true and false questions, Greg.
Yep.
We want the truth. Was the border closed? True or false?
False. We left on Saturday. Border didn't close till Wednesday midnight.
I heard a little rumour about Jägermeisters.
It's true, but it's not me.
Who was it?
Aaron.
Sennis doesn't drink.
Well, that's what I thought too. He just wants to get him out. He goes, might as well get him done. 6. There's another side to Aaron.
Yeah, right. So I heard there was a little bit of Engelbert Humperdinck on the playlist. True or false?
True. Love Engelbert. All my mum used to listen to. Julio Iglesias, Engelbert Humperdinck. I've got to bring out some of the oldies for this road trip.
Bring the classics
and
out.
we did. Get on with it. It's so good.
So true or false? Could this be the future of Charity Drive Days?
True. I've got to be honest. We did 45 hours, I added it up, in the chair of driving, right? And the one thing about that car, it has the best seats. When you soak up those hours in a chair that you're comfortable in, they just turn one into the next.
Is there anyone specifically you'd like to thank? I mean, you can't thank everyone, but the outcome is phenomenal.
Absolutely. I mean, we have the early calls. Like I said, George Nacker's Dutton Garage was the first prompting, and I prompted him and he bit straight back with a 5 grand. So once I knew we had 10 grand, we were off to a flying start. Classics Roll Shop in Sydney, Rory and Karen Johnson, they were great. Bobby Zagami Ferrari, who prepared the car, mind you. You know, we got new tyres sorted, we checked out, made sure battery conditions and everything was right, all fluids were up there.
Boys looked after you.
The boys, the workshop there did a great job performing the car, getting the car up to standard to make sure that the GDO was ready, which it certainly was. Strong supporters, Rini Di Maria, always there. Michael Piccolo, You know, our infamous Michael Piccolo's on the phone when you heard about all this, absolutely. On the very last day, I had a call from one of my sons, Brandon, and Andrew Fox was in our shop, wanted to know who the highest bidder was, right? So then, which at that stage was $5,000 from a number of people.
Right.
He came in with 10.
You trumped it.
Thank you, Andy Fox. Yeah, but then he got trumped by an anonymous caller at 15. And that was the time, just where we left Eden when we hit the 130,000 as discussed. You know, so, and of course we've got Mike Bailey who came in strong as ever, another $5,000. There's so many, too many to thank, but those were the heavy hitters, no doubt. And then we had dozens and dozens of people that were contacting us via Instagram with 100, 200, 300, 400, $50 even. You know what? It's important money. It is. They've got $50 out of their pocket from their hard-earned money. Yeah. That's important.
They said Charity Drive Days family are super proud. Great result. Yeah. You know, the different charities are all going to benefit from this in different ways, and it's going to make a real difference.
So, from myself and Tanya, from the Charity Drive Days group, we just want to thank everybody for your enthusiasm for this, not really an event. It was just us going for a drive, and we want to thank the support of all those names we mentioned, and even all those people who just followed it. Thank you. You made the trip, and you made the rewards coming home to achieve $135,000 for Charity Drive Days, something marvellous. Thanks once again.